How do you think Jared Vanderbilt can improve offensively? It looked like he's bringing a lot of energy, but he's kind of struggling hitting the basket.
Well, I'm going to meet with him and just say, what do you want me to do to get you involved offensively? What are you comfortable doing? Because we just got to, he had 7 rebounds in 11 minutes. Guys, he's got to play. But we got to get him comfortable where he's playing. I will tell you that, you know, I mentioned after the game, like, and again, what I had the staff do today, we did a rotation prior to the game, and we tried to stick with it, but we had foul trouble, and we're going to stay with that. In other words, guys are going to play 3-4 minutes, and if you're really playing well, maybe you play an extra minute, and if you're not playing so well, you know, maybe you come out a minute early. But there's going to be a rotation, and it's, instead of, they got to take off, instead of being subbed now, well, every time no, you're in a rotation, so that's dumb. So tell me why you're playing the way you're playing. You're in a rotation now. You're not being out for a missed shot or this, that, and we're going to coach you. For me, it's kind of like the year I had the 2 platoons. Remember I told you I don't have to do any subbing. I know these 5 are going in, and those 5 are going in. If there's some trouble, now I can worry about coaching, which I got to do with this team. But Jared, you know, again, we haven't figured him out yet. But I'm going to meet with him and spend some time with him and try to get better at what I'm doing to get him involved offensively so he can stay on the court.
John, a lot of times this season your team is like blown leads in the game. They kept it at double digits in the final minutes. So what was some things that they were doing different like in the game?
Oh, we made free throws. We made free throws. Makes a big difference. But the play that drove me crazy, we're up 9 and rebound the ball with 3 minutes to go, and okay, now we're going to grind it, we're going to get this to 11 or 12. And dudes throw it ahead, like we're still trying to run. And then throw it to a guy who shoots a 3. What are you doing? Why would you take 12 seconds and then the same guy that threw it ahead, you ready? Fouls a 3-point shooter. And now all of a sudden it's anybody's ball game again. That drives me crazy because that means you're just not thinking basketball for your team. And, you know, that's not acceptable right now with where we are trying to just win games. But the finish of the game, other than that, we grounded out. We got the ball where we wanted to. We made layups, and we made free throws.
John, the way Kevin played the first half, is that what you would envision for him?
And rebound, please. Go get balls. Like everything else he was doing, he's getting better. You know, the pass to PJ, he threw an absolute bullet. PJ was wide open. I'm like, you know, I think he just got anxious. Ball came shooting at PJ 60 miles an hour on the slip. And again, it's another basket. And we're that team that, you know, we can't afford those kind of errors. Now, we only had 11 turnovers today. That's a big jump for us. I will tell you this, too, and what I told him after the game, we have to be better defensively man-to-man. If we're to advance, and we want to be one of those teams at the end of the year advancing, because we'll get better offensively, we'll start figuring each other out. You have to guard man-to-man. You can't say we got to go zone, we can't guard. Now, what if you're playing a team that can make threes? Now you're down 17, your season's over. You have to be able to guard. Most of our problems, we don't talk. We refuse to simple interchanges. A guy runs the baseline. It's wide open. How? Well, I got hit. Did you stop? Did you tell someone else to pick him up? What? And that's where we are. But, you know, I'm going to watch the tape and show them and just say this can't be who we are. We have to be better defensively. We were against Florida. Today, not so much. We got beat on the bounce, you know, but
middle.
By the way, I'm also, we're keeping assists. I'm trying again to make them willing passers, okay? So let me tell you how you get an assist. You get a normal assist. You pass it to somebody and score. You ready for this assist? You pass it to somebody and they miss the shot. I'm still giving you an assist. You pass it to somebody and they get fouled. Still giving you an assist. If you're a big man and you outlet the ball and that guy leads to a break, I'm giving you an assist. If you throw it ahead and someone else throws it to somebody else for an assist, I'm giving you an assist too. There's 100 ways now to get an assist, but to get an assist, you must start by, really, you cannot get an assist. Any pass you make is going to be an assist now. So when you end the game and you have 1 assist in 28 minutes, what is that telling you? Man, I passed 1 time in this game. Yeah, 1 time. I'm doing everything I can. Pass the ball to each other. Make the easiest pass you can make. Every extra pass we make, we become a good team, a better team. It's hard though. But I get it. I got to be a ball stopper. I got a ball fake and a walk. I mean, we're getting better though. We're getting better.
Stay in the middle.
John, in the first half, Kevin Knox didn't miss a shot for the last 16 minutes. You said earlier in the season you want to keep feeding the hot hand. He didn't take as many in the second half. Was that a game planning thing, or was he just not as aggressive?
No, we again, you know, they were being physical. They were topping him a little bit. We tried to get him the ball in the post a little bit, if you remember. We were doing some different things, but in the flow of the game, we didn't run a whole lot for him in the first half. In the flow of the game, he scored. That's when you're making extra passes, guys. When we don't do that, it's hard for us to score. But I don't know what he ended up with. PJ ended up with 22. Kevin had 19. It's pretty good.
Derek.
John, how do you sell the guys on valuing an assist total over a point total?
Just absolutely, when guys are doing great passing, you're hugging them, you're telling them, and when a guy gets 22, you don't even mention it. You don't even say anything. You just come in and say, man, did you see how many, like we have it on the board right there. Shea had about 18. Some guys literally had like 2. I mean, that means you're not passing. I'm giving you every opportunity to get an assist.
Daryl.
John, your history of coaching freshmen, how long does the kind of 1 step forward, 2 step back last? And do they ever reach a point where it's nothing but step forward?
It's all different. It's all different. Right now, there's still not a lot of trust within, and even trust in what we're trying to get them to do. Just not a lot of trust yet. Part of it is each guy trying to establish who they are as a player. So now when you got 5 guys trying to figure out who they are as a player, doesn't it look like they're a little confused offensively? It does. When you got everybody that's comfortable in their own skin and who they are as a player and what they're being asked to do, it starts rolling. We're just not there yet. I mean, we had some guys pouting today. I mean, we're just not there yet. And my thing is, when this becomes a good team, if anybody does that, and I told them after, you can take a guy out of the rotation. If a guy's pouting or he's not playing well, he's not rough enough, just coach, get him out of the rotation. So now we'll have an 8-man rotation or a 7-man rotation. They have the right to do it. They can take a guy out of the rotation. So, and I was on the staff today. When's the next wave? Let's go. Another minute. All right, who is it? Tell them who they're going in for. I want them to know you're coming over, but you're going to go back in. And you're coming over unless you just totally stop or you broke down and gave up 4 baskets and we're trying to win, you got to come out. Short of that, you're staying in. Every time we make a mistake, come on, you can't say that anymore. It's not true. You're in a rotation now. Now we got to know, why are you playing? And again, here, Hami did this today, which was good. He argued on one. Guy scored on him twice. The next time he stopped playing, if you remember, the ball went in and this guy drifted. Weatherspoon and made the shot. He knew it was him. He looked over. Finally, take responsibility. I'm trying to get the whole team to. My play, I said, we're going to go zone. He said, stay one. I want to guard him. Thank you. Thank you. Don't blame. Don't get mad. Be mad at yourself and say, I want to guard this guy. Let me guard him. It's been a struggle for guys to say my fault. It comes out, no, your fault. Say my fault. Linda's fault. Say my fault. My fault. But they're getting there now. Look, I've dealt with this before. and you know, you're trying. I told them prior to the game, every day my whole mentality is, how do I make each individual better? What are they doing? And I'm thinking about them, writing notes to myself. How do I make this team better? I told the guys, I mean, I'm about you. This staff is about you. So when we make you uncomfortable, so that you can play that way and be comfortable playing uncomfortable, and because we're mad or hate you, if we're getting on you to hold you responsible, accountable, hey, we're about you. How can that upset you? Now, if you're playing for a guy that says, hey, you're just a number, you're spoken the wheel, this is just about this program, we're not putting names on the back of the uniform, this is just a program, okay, then you probably look at the guy and say, the guy doesn't care about me, he just cares about the program and his own thing. We don't do that. So you should not be upset. If we're coaching you or challenging you or making you uncomfortable, there's a reason for you personally. But like again, we had a couple guys not play well. I can lie to them or I can tell them, you know, you got to be better. You play these minutes and you don't get a rebound. Come on, man. And when we did the combinations, the common denominator was Wenyan. And to be honest, Sasha a little bit, but it was Wenyan. Every combination that played well and had good numbers had Wenyan in it. The others had Wenyan and Sasha. Like in one of the combinations, but Sasha was the other one. So we're doing a rotation so those guys play more. Today Sasha didn't give us his best effort, but you know, they're not machines and they're not computers. But he's in the rotation. He'll have another game and another chance to do it this next one we play.
Last quick one. Fletcher.
Hey John, why'd you change your shoes at halftime?
I always do. Because I don't wear tennis shoes in a game, but I did for Coaches versus Cancer, and I signed them, and I'm sending them. I did wear them. I wore them for a half, and then I put my shoes on.
I know you've been to the Marshall County Hoop Fest through the years. Do you have a message for that community?
I was literally nauseous because I had my TV on in my office, and then it came across the ticker. The sound wasn't on, and I looked and I turned it on. And it is, if you have children, my first thought was, when they said some people got killed and people were injured, was like, oh my gosh. And then they made this statement, and parents are racing there to get their children. Could you imagine that drive to that school not knowing if your child had been killed or not? I mean, I just like welled up. I'm like, oh my gosh, and I got children. So I don't know, probably there's nothing I can say other than I'll be praying for all of them tomorrow at Mass. I'll take communion for them, light a candle for them. But it's, you know, what is going on? You know, we got to come together as a country. We got to figure out this opioid issue. We got to figure out this gun issue. Is it a gun issue or is it a mental health issue? What the heck is it? It is something. And we all got to come together, man. Let's finally got the government up and running, thank goodness. But it's an issue now. I mean, it's happening over and over. Come on. But I was physically like got sick, and then I thought when they said parents are racing to the school, I'm like, oh my, like the emotion must be, you know, and the first responders I heard were brave and did their thing, and I thanked them and prayed for them. But you know, we're in a country, we got issues that we got to deal with, and we're not going to do them fighting each other. And I win, you lose. Win-win. How about that one? Win-win. Not I win, you lose. For all of us. If that makes sense. Thank you.
All right, thanks, folks.